Here they come. So I've made like 3 videos yesterday about how no matter where I go, even when I go out of my way to stand or sit in some very out of the way places, these psychotic trolls with toddlers suddenly show up just a few feet away, and they always have screaming toddlers with them all the time. It happens every single time. And I've been on this platform for about 7 minutes now, and it's been completely silent. But now, yeah, they're just on the other side. It's like the third world, hate stalkers that are at me. I think they're from Russia. So my landlords, the Greenville Group, are part of a third world criminal organization. They're from Russia. Russia is basically, a third world country, as far as I can tell. And they run things the way they do in criminal third world countries, right? So it's like they don't pay attention to laws here in the United States, to tenants' rights, to anything that's really major in terms of not discriminating against people, making repairs, things like that. Yeah, see, there we go. Every single time, right? What was I saying? So this is where I go in the other direction, because these people show up everywhere I go. There are not that many people with children everywhere I go that all of a sudden, like, people with toddlers showing up a few feet away can be due to chance. It's not due to chance. It's statistically impossible for it to be due to chance, right? It's just not due to chance. When something happens every single time that you're doing something under different circumstances, so it happens when I'm at Harvard Square, it happens when I'm on the subway platform, it happens when I'm at grocery stores, it happens when I am at office centers, it happens when I'm in hotels. When something happens every single time you're out anywhere, it's not a coincidence. There are not that many people with children under the age of 3 everywhere I go by chance. That's not an accident. I know that statistics is really hard for most people to understand, because most people these days don't have brains in their heads. Like, they can't understand anything having to do with numbers. But again, when something happens, when one particular thing happens, every single time you're out anywhere, regardless of time of day of week, location, what you happen to be doing, it's not an accident. And that just now is not an accident. These people get really aggressive about coming within a few yards or feet of where I happen to be minding my own business and just doing my thing. And they get really aggressive about having a screaming toddler somewhere just a few feet away. They seem to think that it has an effect on me, but it doesn't, because I don't want kids. I've never wanted kids. I am contentedly child-free, but nobody told these people that, apparently. The reason I make videos about it is because it literally happens just about every single time I go anywhere. And again, statistics prove that that is not an accident. It's not a strange coincidence. The multiple trolls with toddlers, meaning they only usually have children of a certain age that is under the age of 3, where they literally just scream all the time. I mean, they're not going to have 12-year-olds with them, right? Because 12-year-olds don't behave that way. So the people who troll me with their children do not troll me with 12-year-olds. They troll me with screaming, 1, 2, and 3-year-olds. And that's because they want the screaming to be heard, and 12-year-olds don't usually scream and shout unless they have some behavioral issue. So the people, again, who are constantly trolling me, regardless of time of day of week, location, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, do it deliberately with children under the age of, 3 or 4. It's very specific. It's like a very narrow range of the population of children that these people could be using to exploit, to troll and harass other adults. It's a very narrow age range. It's an extremely narrow age range, and that's the tip-off. When very, very large numbers of people with children in a very narrow age range suddenly show up within a few feet of wherever you happen to be, regardless of where you happen to be, it's not an accident. It is not statistically possible for it to be an accident. It is a aberration, meaning it is a forced event that statistics will very easily take into account if you put it into a probability equation, which I know how to do. And most of the people listening to this have no idea what a probability equation is. But it's an equation where you create a mathematical statistical formula, you plug in the variables, and then you figure out whether something that keeps happening is due to chance or not. And I'll bet you $1 million, none of these trolls or toddlers suddenly showing up everywhere I go and getting within a few feet of me with a screaming toddler, and they're almost always screaming, that's the other thing, is due to chance. It's not.